It's 3:45 in the morning. The water's about 45 degrees. And this is probably, I don't know, the fifth or sixth thing I've done wrong according to most biohackers. Listen, every single thing that I do between 3:45 and 6 a.m. is backed by peer-reviewed research. Not blog posts, not podcasts, actual studies. The most of what the internet tells you about morning routines is either incomplete or just a fabrication. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I do, the specific studies behind each step, why the order matters as much as the practice, and every source will be linked in the description down below so you can read the actual studies. I've been running this protocol for about 12 months. I'm a business coach who takes his first call at 6 a.m., and that means I need 2 hours and 15 minutes of biological preparation, not motivation, actual physiological optimization before I can even open my mouth on a coaching call. I'll do 23 calls with one 30-minute break. That's 12 hours. And I need to maintain high energy the whole day. And here's how and why. 3:45 a.m., the alarm goes off. I'm already up probably. The first thing, salt, lemon, 3 drops of methylene blue in the water. No food. I'm still going to go fasted for a while. These 3 drops of methylene blue aren't for show. MB acts as an electron shuttle in your mitochondria. Like it donates, electrons directly to complex 4 of the electron transport chain, boosting ATP production independent of your normal metabolic pathways. But here's the real play. I'm taking this about 45 minutes before I hit the sauna with my red and near infrared panels. So a 2014 study from Gonzalez, Lima, and Octor, I think it was, in the frontiers of cellular neuroscience showed that methylene blue combined with near infrared light creates a synergistic effect on mitochondrial function. The MB provides the electrons, the 670 nanometer and 880 nanometer light activates cytochrome C and oxidase to use those electrons. You're essentially supercharging your cellular energy production. Every source is linked, like I said. Now the salt and the lemon. This isn't a wellness trend. Sodium is the primary electrolyte lost during sleep through respiration and sleep, right? Sweat, all of these things. And without adequate sodium, your cells can't maintain proper voltage gradients. The lemon provides citrate, which supports the Krebs cycle. And this is basic cellular biochemistry, not a hack. It's about 3:50 a.m. I'm heading to the cold plunge. It's 45 degrees. I'm straight in. No breathing, that comes later. Sometimes I'll do some box breaths because I lose my breath, but I'm just in there to plunge. I usually do 3 to 5 minutes depending on what I can handle. And this is where I break from the mainstream. Most people cold plunge after their workout for recovery. I do it before, but you know what? I'm not guessing and they are, right? Here's why. A 2023 study in biology found that just 5 minutes of cold water immersion increased self-reported alertness, attentiveness, and what researchers called inspired activation. But more importantly, cold water immersion before resistance training activates your sympathetic nervous system without blunting the hypertrophic signaling that you need post-workout. The Cochrane review of 17 studies or 19 studies, I think it was, confirmed that post-workout cold immersion can blunt muscle protein synthesis and reduce hypertrophy gains. Stanford neuroscience professor Andrew Huberman recommends waiting at least 6 hours after strength training if you're going to go into a cold plunge. That's why I do it before. My solution, do it before. You get the spike, you get the mental activation, you get the metabolic boost, and without sabotaging your gains. Now I am neurochemically primed for the hardest 48 minutes of my day. 4 a.m. Compound resistance plus conditioning, progressive overload, and I've got like a 48-minute hard cap because I'm timed, right? Why 48 minutes, you say? Right? At least I say. Because after approximately 45 or 60 minutes of intense resistance training, cortisol begins to outpace testosterone. You're no longer building, you're breaking down. So the goal is maximum stimulus in a minimum amount of time. Get in, overload the tissue, and then get out, right? That's the key. Now it's, let's say, 4:48. I enter the sauna sweaty, immediately post-workout. This is intentional. A single 30-minute sauna session at 170 degrees Fahrenheit increases heat shock protein levels by approximately 50% above the baseline. And HSPs are your body's cellular repair crew. They refold damaged proteins, direct amino acids to muscle damaged sites, and accelerate recovery. Not to mention about a 10 times increase in growth hormone by your body by being in that sauna. So the longevity data is what sold me. Dr. Rhonda Patrick's analysis of Finnish sauna studies showed that 4 to 7 sauna sessions per week reduces all-cause mortality risk. That the HSP70 gene variant linked to regular heat exposure is associated with 1 to 2 additional years of lifespan. This isn't wellness fluff. This is published epidemiological data. Now remember those 3 drops of methylene blue from an hour ago? This is the payoff right now. The MB I took at 3:45 has been absorbed and is now circulating in my bloodstream. My red light panels run at 670 nanometers and 880 nanometers, the exact wavelengths that activate the cytochrome C oxidase. The Gonzalez-Lima research showed that this combination creates a mitochondrial energy output greater than either intervention alone. By the way, I look at those panels, eyes to the panels for 5 to 7 minutes for ocular pathway. Then I let the body absorb the rest. No screens, full present, just in the sauna. By the way, I always have a towel in my sauna. I want to get the sweat off me as quick as possible because I know that I'm sweating out, metals and all kinds of stuff. So it's 5:10. Fuel and compounds, right? I always start my fuel and compound session with NAD. The NAD supplementation in the morning aligns with my body's natural circadian rhythm. NAD serves as like an exclusive co-substrate for serotonins and PARPs, your 2 primary families of cellular repair enzymes. As you get older, your levels decline. Morning supplementation with levels that are lowest may optimize conversion efficiency. The research is still developing on long-term human outcomes, but the mechanistic science on mitochondrial support is solid. Depending on where I am in my protocol, I might include some peptides, but you should always talk to a doctor and get sound advice before adding anything to your routine. I'm not a doctor and I'm not giving you advice on peptides. Now, coffee. Notice I haven't had any yet. It's been about 85 to 90 minutes since I woke up, and that's intentional. When you wake up, your body is already running on cortisol awakening response, a natural spike in cortisol that peaks about 30 to 45 minutes after waking. Cortisol is your body's built-in alertness signal. If you slam caffeine into that window, 2 things happen. 1, you're stacking a stimulant on top of a process that's already doing its job, which blunts your sensitivity to caffeine over time. And 2, when the cortisol spike drops off at about 90 minutes and you have nothing in reserve, that's the mid-morning crash most people blame on needing more coffee. By waiting 90 minutes, I let the cortisol awakening response do its thing. Then I introduce caffeine. Right as cortisol starts to decline, the caffeine gets introduced. This results in a clean, sustained alertness curve with no crash. Dr. Andrew Huberman has covered this extensively. There's an adenosine receptor science that backs it up. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine, your brain's sleepiness signal. But that is still building in the background, and if you drink coffee too early, you just delay that flood. You don't clear it. Waiting lets your body naturally clear some of that adenosine first, so the caffeine actually has a clean runway. I make my coffee now, I pour it in a Yeti, I set it aside. It'll be perfect drinking temperature right around 5:48 when I sit down at my desk to get ready for calls. And while I'm in the kitchen, I make my wife Debbie's coffee too, and I write her a note every single morning. This isn't just being a good husband, although it is that. This is applied neuroscience. The act of doing something specifically for someone you love, unprompted, with no expectation of return, triggers oxytocin release. Oxytocin lowers your cortisol, it reduces blood pressure, and it activates the parasocial bonding circuits in your prefrontal cortex. I think it was a 2017 study that showed that pro-social behavior, doing things for others, produced measurably greater positive effect than self-focused behavior. Not that any of you guys do self-focused behavior. Writing that note cost me about 60 seconds. The neurochemical return is massive, and honestly, knowing she's going to wake up to that, that's the kind of fuel no supplement can replace. I almost got choked up saying that. Hope you guys are happy. Right now, I have my first meal. It goes in here too. This is where the body transitions from stress adaptation to fuel and rebuild. For me, it's usually A2 yogurt with a spoon of protein powder and some berries. Maybe a little bit of granola if I'm on a good day. It's now 5:28, shower, warm, not cold. I already got all the cold exposure I need. This is a deliberate gear shift from sympathetic flight mode to parasympathetic think mode. The gradual temperature drop signals to your nervous system that the physical preparation phase is complete. Now we're going to shift to cognitive, right? 5:36 a.m. I lay on a PEMF mat and I do Wim Hof breathing simultaneously. I do complete breath work, 2 protocols, 1 block, 2 birds. The pulse electromagnetic field therapy, a 2023 review in PMC covering the clinical evidence showed PEMF influences DNA synthesis, gene expression, and cell migration. It mobilizes ion flow across cell membranes, and it does depolarization and repolarization and hyperpolarization. Studies show statistically significant pain reduction and improved athletic recovery, including reduced DOM symptoms and shortened recovery time. Now, time for my little Wim Hof, right? It's 3 to 4 rounds. It's 30 to 40 inhales per round. I hold on the exhale, so I will exhale and I will hold my breath. I start at about 60 seconds. I do a recovery breath. I hold for 15 seconds, and then I do the next one. On the second hold, I think he has me go 90 seconds. I don't always make it, all the way breath out for 90 seconds, but I try. There was a systematic review that was done on Wim Hof method, and it significantly increases epinephrine levels, which triggers, I think, what they call interleukin-10 production and suppresses pro-inflammatory cytokines, right? This is not pseudoscience. This is real science, right? There was a randomized controlled trial showed a 24% reduction in depressive symptoms, a 27% reduction in anxiety, a 20% reduction in perceived stress. The Wim Hof group also showed significant reductions in rumination, the repetitive negative thought loops that kill performance. There is no question that breath works, and if you're not doing it, then you should probably start today. Listen, for a business coach about to get on calls, this isn't optional. This is what I have to do to maintain a high level all day. It's 5:48 a.m. That Yeti that I poured, it's sitting here on my desk, right? And it's perfect temperature now. I sit down, my coffee is active, my affirmations, my gratitude, my call prep. Listen, before you skip this part, affirmations aren't just positive thinking. fMRI studies from UCLA published in Social Cognitive and Effective Neuroscience showed that self-affirmation activates the ventromedial prefrontal cortex and the ventral striatum, your brain's reward and self-processing centers. This is neural activity predicated actual behavior change in subsequent days. It literally rewires threat processing. Keep in mind, when you're doing affirmations, you're programming your subconscious mind. So when you do have that hard day, you're ready to take it on. Then I do gratitude, and gratitude practice triggers dopamine and serotonin release, the same neurotransmitters targeted by most antidepressants. It activates the hypothalamus, improving sleep quality for the following night. Regular practice reduces cortisol and improves heart rate variability. And remember that note that I wrote to Debbie? That wasn't separate from the gratitude practice. That was gratitude practice in itself, in action, not just on paper. Thinking grateful thoughts activate one set of neural pathways. Physically doing something grateful for another person activates those pathways, plus your motor cortex, plus the oxytocin and the prosocial circuits. It's gratitude with a multiplier. Look, this isn't journaling for feelings. This is neurochemical priming for performance. That's what we're doing. It's 6 a.m., my first call, 2 hours and 15 minutes of preparation behind this moment. And I'll tell you something, and you can ask my clients that are on that very first call at 6 a.m. I was about as high energy as I possibly could be without exploding. It's not motivation. It's not discipline porn. It's targeted science-backed biological optimization designed to put me in a peak neurochemical state before I coach someone on their business or their life or their social media or their YouTube, right? Don't take my word for it. Read the research yourself. Besides, if you made it this far, you're not the average viewer. You're someone who cares about the science behind performance, not just the aesthetics of a morning routine, right? If you made it this far, you're ready to take your life to the next level. I think so. Hit the subscribe. In the future, I'm going to go deeper on each of these protocols in dedicated videos. Cold exposure, science, PMF, deep dive, methylene blue, plus red light stack. If you comment in the below which block you want me to break down first, I will know that you watched the whole video. Besides, YouTube loves it when you comment, and it'll help me grow the channel. And I'll make sure that I focus on the ones that you want me to cover first. And if you're a business owner or a coach and you want to perform at this level, I'm going to have a bunch more videos that you can see, and you can always click the link in my description. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. Hope you guys have a great day. Let's rock it.